Hi, Julia Watts here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be making a card using Jane Gill's new Woodware Bubble Birds. Well, we're going to use one of them. We're going to be using this one, and this one's called Lina. And there are, let me think, I think there's 6 bubble birds, and then there's some flowers, and then there's some flower stems, so stems with flowers on them in this collection. And you can use them with the Big Bubble craft die and the Bubble craft die, which Jane released last year and the year before, I think. But it's optional. You don't have to actually put bubbles in there, but they do actually match. And Jane has given you some designs that will fit into the bubbles, which you can stamp directly into the gaps or onto the die cut bubbles, and then you can give them dimension. There's some hearts, and then there's a sentiment. As always, there's always a sentiment, or virtually always a sentiment, in Jane's stamp sets. So you'll find the new bubble birds over on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk, and they're all in stock now. And I do have the 2 bubble craft dies in stock as well. We're also going to be using today the Poole Shabby Basic Stitched Weave frame. I'm going to be using the largest 2 dies from this set, and that's in stock on my website as well. And what else? We're also going to be using some of Andy Skinner's beautiful Ink-ology, excuse me, Ink-ology inks. We're using Marigold, Firecracker and Raspberry Ripple. And we're going to be using those to create a fantastic background and to colour in with. So let's start. Let's start with the mucky side first, which is the background. I have 2 pieces of A5, so A4 cut in half, of the Sentimentally Yours Super Smooth watercolour card. Again, available on my website. You'll get fed up of hearing that, but it is there. I'm trying to make sure that you can get everything in one place as much as possible. And I'm going to start just with one piece and mist on the back with just a little bit of water to stop it moving around. And then I am going to be experimenting with various different techniques over a few videos, but let's start with the darkest one. This is Firecracker. So for this technique, we're just going to put some dots of the ink on here, and this is the strongest colour, so probably too much of that, but never mind. So this is Firecracker. As you can see, it does come with a pipette. Then this is the Raspberry Ripple, so you just give it a squeeze and you can just dot these on wherever you want them. Then we've got the lightest colour, which is the Marigold, which is a lovely beautiful yellow. You don't actually need as much as this, but we're going to get a twofer, and the card will sort itself out hopefully in a minute. So another little bit of yellow there. And then we're going to give it a spritz on the top to get that ink moving around. The water does make the ink kind of spray where you don't want it to go, but that's fine. See, I'm adding lots and lots of water. Then what I'm going to do, we're going to get a twofer. We're going to put the other piece on top. We're going to grab a piece of kitchen roll and we're going to squidge it together. And actually, where it comes out on the edge, I do like sometimes to actually colour in the back, because if you're doing a journal page, it gives you a coloured back. Not that we're going to have a journal page on this, but I just like to do it. And it's less ink to mop up as well. And if you want to cut your bubbles out of a slightly different colour, you can cut it out of the back. Obviously, it's only on one side. There we go, that's the messy bit over with, and we'll do the reveal. So that is actually much darker than the original one because I put a lot of the Firecracker on, but that's fine because we can let it dry and then we can go on with bleach and we can bleach some of it out. They're never the same twice, never, ever, 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 ever. So I've only got, you can only see a little bit of the pink here, which is a little bit disappointing. But we can, like I say, we can pull it back. We can go through stencils with bleach to bleach it out as well. Whatever you want to do. You can see I'm just going over the top here, so you can get some different effects by doing that. We could even take, we're going off at a tangent. We get very mucky doing this. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Fun. A little bit of water on the craft sheet. In fact, let's grab. I've got one somewhere. A natural sponge. Just a piece of natural sponge. This is quite dry, but we can go on here. And the water will bleach out. I know you can't see it at the moment, but it will bleach some of it out. And we'll put that aside to dry. As I've got one that I prepared earlier, which is a bit lighter, thank goodness. It's an experiment. I've only just started using these inks, so I'm actually learning as well. I knew as soon as I put all that on it was far too much, but hey ho. Right, clean up, because you do have residue ink, and you'll find that there's a little bit around the edges of your table as well, so don't do this on your best dining room table, whatever you do. Okie dokie. Right, so I have got one that's all dry and cut out. So this is the one I did originally, so you can see there's less of the Firecracker, and I've got some gaps as well, some white gaps, which is perfect. So just play around until you get it to how you like it. And I've used the largest two dies together from this stitch weave frame. So if you just use that one, all it's going to do is put the weaved stitch detail around. So it's not going to cut anything out. So you need to have this one as well to cut out. If you want to do a frame, then you need to have these two dies here. Can you see those two dies there? Either side of the weave, and then you'll actually get a frame. Really like that die set. So we're going to pop this into our stamping platform. Like so. I think I can get all my magnets on, but we'll see. And then we're going to grab Lina. I love that you can use all of the stamps on here in your project, rather than, you know, having a stamp set where you only perhaps use one. Jane really thinks it out. Right, let's put that there so we can have it down here. I think he or she is going to be just like that. Okay. Obviously mine's a dirty stamp, so I can see exactly where I'm putting it. I do have the stamping platforms and spare magnets in stock on the website. There's a reminder. And Nocturne Versafine Clair. We're going to be using that because it's a permanent ink, great for watercolour ink. I know Francoise uses it once it's like a day old dry with her alcohol markers. I've tried it as well, and it does work as long as you don't flood the area with your alcohol marker. It's like a hybrid ink. But we're going to be doing some watercolouring in with Andy's inks. Give it a good old press. I probably will go twice, just so I can have it nice and dark. When it's new stamp, it might be a bit sticky, so just give it a chance to lift up. You can already see that on that cool background. If you're having trouble stamping, it could mean that you need to be re-inking. I've just restocked the re-inkers for Nocturne. I do have re-inkers of some of the other colours as well. Again, have a look. Just either go to the Sukin Eco brand section of my website or search for Versafine Clair. Okay, nice and dark now. Let's just clean that off. So I don't get really inky fingers when I pick it up, hopefully. Oh, still got inky fingers, but hey ho. That's what it's all about. Right, so originally, because I have done this before because I was playing with it, I wanted to have hearts coming down here like so. So I think that would be quite nice. And we're going to have the happy birthday to you down here in the bottom corner. Let's put this down here. That's straightish. Okay. The beauty of the platform is that you can actually stamp a couple of different things at the same time. Just make sure it's all butted into the corner. Press. The watercolour card does take a lot of water. It's really good quality watercolour card, and because it's hot pressed, it means that it's really good for stamping. It's nice and smooth. Don't need to do the sentiment again, I don't think. I'll just do the little hearts against it, a bit darker. That's better. Do that. So that's our kind of base stamping, if you like. Okay. Then we're going to look at our bubbles. And I've selected a selection of bubbles that I've cut. You can see I've got from my A5 sheet, I got my main piece and I got some bubbles out of it as well, and I also got some hearts because I made a mess, which I've got extras of just in case I make a mess again. Who knows, who knows. So let's get out our bits and pieces here, show you where we're aiming at. I've already got some that were extra from the one I did before, so we'll put those to one side for now. That's one of the buttons. Okay, so you can see that this one is from the, it's the only one actually from the big bubble craft die, and that one fits on there. That's going to go on there. So plan where you're going to have these things. Then I've got a big one to go on there, and a big one to go on there. And we've got, that one's going to go on there, that one's going to go on there, that one's going to go on there, and then I don't know why I've got three. I think that one goes there. Excuse me. Yeah, that one goes there. So that's how we're going to have our bubbles. Excuse me. So we're going to stamp on these now. So I don't need those two. Move them out of the way. So plan where you want. On the others, I'm just going to put some pearls. Okay, so we're ready to stamp on our bubbles, and I'm going to use one of the acrylic blocks from the acrylic circles from Sentimentally Yours. Did I say, oh, the smaller ones are from the bubble craft die, this one. So you don't have to have both, but you know, it just gives you options. So I used this one on my original. I'll bring the original one in to show you where we're aiming at. This is my original one. really cool, isn't it? That's where we're aiming. But we're going to hopefully do something different up there. So I use that one, and that one is actually a little bit small. So I think what we'll do is, I think we'll use this one instead. You can use these on the backgrounds as well, you know, lots and lots of different options. And if you've got a Mama Makes Rotate Mate, the small ones are fab for that too. So let's just hover over the top, give it a good press. Hold that up. It's not 100% central, but it doesn't really matter. Ooh. So that's the big one. And then on these two guys, which are the largest from the the normal bubble craft dice. Very confusing, all these bubble craft dies. We're going to put this one. You don't want to press too hard on the smaller stamps, and of course when you do cut out, you cut out lots, so you've always got spares. Ooh. Yep. Cute. Don't too like that. So you can do whatever you want to. You don't have to have the same size ones with the same stamp. And if you've got more than one of the bubble bird sets, or if you've got any of the toppers, bubble tops or bubble toppers, because there were Christmas ones as well, you can use those. So, you know, and any of your kind of texture stamps, anything you want to, you can use on your little bubbles that you cut out, or you can leave them plain, or you can fill the spaces with pattern papers that you cut out with your bubble craft die, or you can use coloured card, you can fill them with glitter glue, you can do all sorts. On these ones we're going to use this texture die, which is like a herringbone design. Which is very easy because you're going to go over the edge anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's why I've got a piece of card underneath. Cute, isn't it? Really cute. Like, they're like pattern Smarties. So we've got 3 of these. Do follow Jane's Facebook page if you're on Facebook, which is Jane Elizabeth Gill, and she's got lots of samples of hers on there. There is also the Creative Expressions official Facebook page that you can follow, and you'll see there's lots of samples on my website against each of the products as well. There we go, there's those 3. And then there isn't actually a stamp which completely coordinates with the little one. But what I did was I took the teeny tiny one and I took the heart stamped. So this is the heart stamp that I've used in the top corner. And I'm just interested in the tiny one. So I'm going to hover over the little circle and just press in that corner. Hopefully we've got a heart in the right place and nothing else. There we go. Excuse my dirty fingers. Cute, really cute. Right, so those are our bubbles all stamped. Oop, get off me. Turn that over. Doesn't want to turn over. And we've used all but 2 of the stamps in the set, which is pretty good, isn't it? Okay, right. That's all our stamping done. Let's do some colouring in now. Let's move those to one side to dry, and we'll bring in our stamped piece and get a palette. So I do have in my palette, let's see, where's my paintbrush? There it is. Organised as always. Let's put some water in there. So I've got, this is Raspberry Ripple that's in here with a bit of water, and it's not actually set back down, which is fine because I put a lot of water in that, so we can see that's highly pigmented still. So I haven't bleached out any of this because I quite like what's going on in the background. So I'm just going to paint over the top. So where you've got darker colours, it will merge and become a little bit different. I want to be quite careful around the eyes. Where all these bubbles are though, I'm just going to paint over the top because they're going to get covered with either one of the bubbles that I've cut out or with a pearl. So I don't need to worry about that at all. I'm rubbish at staining the lines at the moment. I think I need new glasses. That's what I'm going to blame it on anyway. Obviously, if you wanted to, you could use some thin bleach and bleach out the colour, and then you'll get a truer colour. But I quite like the variance of the colours that you've got by keeping the colour underneath. You do reactivate it slightly, just if you really like, if you're using distress ink, it does reactivate a little bit, so you do get a little bit of a different colour. So when it goes over the yellow, it's going to be a bit more orangey. It's a bit darker there, isn't it? Let's see if we can make it merge a bit better. Obviously, fast forward over this bit if you don't want to watch this bit. So this is where we're going over the yellow in a minute, and that's going to be more orangey, and you'll get a deeper pink where it's over the pink underneath. I'll try and remember to show you the backgrounds that are drying so that we can see how they are drying with the little bit of dabbing with the sponge. See, that's a little bit more orangey at the bottom. I don't know if you can see, it is a little bit. So that's the pink bits. So you don't have to throw anything away if you've got a palette. So I've also got, what have I got here? Let's see. I did, this is a little bit of Skinner's Gold in here. So not much in there though. Might put a bit more in Skinner's Gold, which is not one of the colours I used in the background. We don't need very much. Pick up a little bit of water. let's see what we're going to do Skinner's Gold with. I'm hoping it won't merge together because the card next to it will be a bit wet still, but we'll see. And we could actually, because I'm going to put a bubble over here, we can, let's just colour in the whole thing, just makes it a bit easier for ourselves. So we'll colour in all of this because we're going to put the bubble on top. Lovely rich colours. Hopefully you can see what we're doing. So that's a little bit of Skinner's Gold. And then we're going to go to, this one here has got a little bit of the Marigold in. Let's see how much that reactivates. Ooh. Would be a good idea if you actually did it in the palette, Julia, rather than all over the place. Got a mucky palette now. Let's see how much there is in there. We'll do the beak. This is a lighter yellow than the Skinner's Gold, and we're going to do around the edge of the eye. See, I haven't, this is just what dried out from me doing the original one yesterday, so I haven't used any more ink there. Okay, so that's that. So you can see it's a slightly lighter colour. Then we're going to do the red, which is the Firecracker, which is the one I had an issue with yesterday, because when I coloured in my hearts it bled, and so I had to cover them up. So I'm going to keep everything crossed that it doesn't happen again, because I would quite like to have my stamped hearts. So let's see. It's very, very deep red, even though there's not much in the palette. Trying not to go right up to the edge. I've gone over a little bit. When you're dealing with a really strong colour, you need to be very, very careful and really try really hard not to go over the edge. And then there's this one. It is on top of a bit of red underneath. And then we'll do, each birdie's got a little bobble on his legs, or her legs, and they've also got bobble crowns as well. I think we're getting away with it this time. Woohoo! A bit more. Dip it in some water. You watch it, it'll be the last one that I have a problem with. Always the way. Keeping everything crossed. Yay. Okay. That's where we're at. Lovely and bright. It's cool just like that, doesn't it? Okay. So now we're going to add a little bit of colour to these as well. So let's think about how we want to do this. We'll do the heart in red, obviously. And we'll do the petals of these in red. It's very dark, isn't it? Let me put a light on and see if it helps. I think that's a little bit better for you. Apologies. The sun was out when I started. This is it's quite mindful crafting, this, I think. And I can see me wanting to get one of all of the other birdies out of stock and play with those. I love the bubble robins that Jane did last year. Was so popular. I think I've got a few in stock because I ordered some at the end of last year, but they have been selling this year as well. So how long they're going to last, I don't know, and I might not be able to get any more. And they did all work with the big bubble craft die. There's the bubble snowman, and there's also the bubble Christmas tree as well. Two little petals on here. Oh, a bit dry. It was just an experiment to see if these would set down. Obviously, I put a lot of water in that one there. So do be careful how much water you put in. Again, it's me not knowing the inks yet, so getting to know them. Okay, so there's my, and I'll do this one in the raspberry colour. It's always a good idea. I haven't got one, but it's also always a good idea to have clean water as well. So you wash your brushes in one pot of water, and then you have a clean pot of water as well that you rinse them out in. I haven't got that, but it is a good idea to do that. So this is the raspberry, which is a little tinged with a little bit of the red, because there's still a little bit of red on my brush even though I've cleaned it, but it is lighter than the Firecracker. And we're going to use well, maybe the Skinner's Gold actually in the centre rather than the Marigold, because it's darker. Very good value, these inks. The RRP is $4.99 and I'm doing them at, I think they're $4.49 or $4.50, one or the other, which is close enough. And they're going to last a long time because they're 30ml pots. I've hardly used any at all. Let's go for the Skinner's Gold here. Is that Skinner's Gold or is it Marigold? Let me have a look. Yeah, it's Skinner's Gold. So I'll go back to this one because this will be drier. We'll do this one. And then that's all our colouring in, and we can start assembling. Okay, all done. Put that one aside. Okay, so I've got a piece of black card here, and this is going to go on like that, just to set it off, make it pop. So we're going to do that first, and we're going to pop it underneath my craft sheet, which is underneath, which has got a piece of MDF underneath, and then that will flatten that while we're shaping the bubbles. So this is trimmed to, this measures 4 1/8 inches by, I did write it down, 4 1/8 by 6 3/8. So I've done 4 3/8 by 6 5/8 roughly. There's a split in that, but you can't see, hopefully. Right, so that's going to go underneath. See how the black card makes it pop really well, doesn't it? Oh, I've got other card under there. Right, so that's going to go under there. And then we're going to get, for the big one, we're going to just get a bigger shaping tool. That's a little bit, let's do the smaller ones first, because they're dry. This is a bit wet still, the big one. Embossing tool. I've got these Dreamweaver ones on my website, you'll find those there. And just do circular motions on the back. And that will make them have some shape. And then we'll grab the little heart. And we'll go down to the smaller one. So. Okay, that's those. Is that dry? Those are pretty dry now. And then shape those. And then hopefully the big one will be dry as well. Okay. So they've got the like little cups now. Hopefully you can see that they're shaped. Yeah, it's better. We're going to use a big one for this one. If you start on the outside and then work in, it's up to you how much you shape it. The more you shape it, the more it's going to shrink away from the sides of the shape that you're going to put it into. Hopefully that makes sense. So, just a little bit. Okay. And we need some foam pads on here. I'm going to put, I think that's a 2mm on there. But I'm going to grab some of the smaller, this is just 1mm foam tape. I'm going to cut some of this up to put onto the smaller ones, because I discovered that the smaller ones were a little bit too raised for me. So I'm going to put just 1mm ones on these. Struggling to get foam tape at the moment. I like the Woodware one, and I'm struggling to get it. I think I have some left in stock, but I'm not sure how much. So we're going to put a teeny tiny bit on the tiny ones, and an even teeny tiny bit in the teeny tiny one, because that's very tiny. And then that's that for that one. Yeah, so they've all got, just make sure that it's not sticking out of the edge. Let's go back to our piece. And we're going to just put a little bit of, oh, where's it gone? I'll put it down. There it is. I'm going to put a little bit of 1mm foam tape on the back here, just to raise it up a wee bit. It's optional. You don't have to if you don't want to. Remember to always put some in the middle, because we don't want a saggy middle. And this is going to go onto a 5x7 card. So it's a proper card, opens and everything, 5x7. Get this on straight. It's on, no matter what. And then we'll put our bubbles on. This one's going to go in here. And then we've got, these are the bigger ones. Use this because I can't hold them. And it's going to go on here. And then we've got another one, the same size. Up here. And then we've got three. Two or three. We had three of these, didn't we? I've lost one. I don't know where it's gone. There's one. I think I've lost my teeny tiny one. But it's fine, I've got spare. So that's going to go on here. And then we've got one more of these, which is going to go here. And then we've got a teeny tiny one. So one of the hearts. I don't know where it's gone. That's the trouble with their teeny tiny ones. Well, I've got one here. Make sure your heart's pointing up the right way. Or it could be on a jaunty angle if you wanted it to be. Let's have it on a jaunty angle. There we go. And then in the gaps, we're going to pop a pearl. So we're going to have 5 pearls. Obviously, you know, you can have whatever colour you want to. I've chosen berry red one to coordinate with the Firecracker. These are from Sentimentally Yours, so you find these at Honey Pot Crafts. Now where's my pickup tool? It is. I poured too many out, so I can't see where there's my 5s. Luckily the glue dries clear and matte. Oh, stuck together. Oh, turn over. One more. And then just to finish off, because you shouldn't neglect your corners, we're just going to put a blob of glue in each corner. And we're going to go for an 8mm very red pearl in each corner. Straight. This woven frame, it dyes really lovely. It works really well with this particular stamp. I think we're there. I think we're done. Hopping around trying to get that in the right place. Right, okay, we are done. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'll bring in my original one here, which is, this is where the, unfortunately, the red seeped outside of the hearts. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't dry enough, but I've used these hearts, these die cut hearts, and they are from the Sentimentally Yours Just For You frame sentiment set. But I mean, they're both virtually the same, but slightly different. But they're both really cool, aren't they? So 5x7 cards. As I said, you'll find the Bubble Bird. This one's called Lina. You'll find the Bubble Bird collection from Woodware and Jane Gill on my website, in stock now. If anything's out of stock, just click the email when available button and you'll be notified as soon as I have it again. Please like and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I love to read your comments, and check out my other videos on there, and thank you for watching.